Hello,
Welcome back.
welcome back to Jazzgrass Gaming, where I was talking about mainframes. Okay, so it's basically they gotta learn, they gotta be able to use this old archaic programming language that isn't in use at any other place anymore, right? And these are usually like pretty old dudes who got into IT in like the 80s.
The old graybeards.
And like, because often there's no way to, sometimes there's just no way to properly emigrate the system to a newer or more modern environment, either because of security concerns, or maybe the system has to always be running no matter what. Like you've seen a lot with old nuclear reactors, right?
Yeah. I
You
love that. I
cannot-
love that technology, dude. Old
Like-
technology.
Like, you cannot exactly go ahead and just shut down a nuclear reactor, apparently. It's not that easy.
They didn't make them like that.
So, but to maintain these systems, you need to have knowledge of all, of basically 60s, 70s, and 80s technology.
Yeah.
And, but that's rare. So, if that's rare, then that means that it's valuable.
Oh yeah.
So these people, like, getting paid for knowledge is, because these are, even if you're a doctor, like, how much do you really get paid? If you're a teacher, you're a spreader of knowledge, but you get paid less than a trash collector. So you could argue that that's one of the few jobs left where knowledge truly, absolutely counts, right?
Yeah. It's like these old mechanics who like only know how to operate
but
these
where,
old
where you actually
ancient
get
things.
properly
Yeah.
paid for your knowledge, right? But it's pretty interesting because there's also just young people going in, learning these extremely old and archaic programming languages specifically to try and get one of those jobs, where they are supposed to either help emigrate from this system or maintain it or whatever.
Yeah.
But it of course does take a lot of you got to be a real clever boy. It takes a lot of hard work to learn, because you basically have to learn the origins of it all.
Yeah, and especially if there's nobody there to teach you, you gotta figure that shit out yourself.
Okay, what's interesting about programming language? So the most bare bones with programming you can go is assembly code, which is directly telling the CPU and whatnot, and the computer, what to do, where to pull the signals from, how many voltages, etc. Right? One step above that would be if you had certain functions predefined under a name that the computer will read. If let's say you type in open command line, and that is your definition for the CPU going to the north bridge, getting some a bunch of volts up, go to this particular bit and put that to 0, put that to 1, the assembly code. A step above that would be if you make it more complicated and have have your code tell the assembly code to do more complex tasks, right? And that's basically what programming is. Programming is literally just redefining steps that have already been defined in assembly.
Yeah.
And once you get, like, if you really dig into that, and if you're really, like, for example, like, if there's some people that are absolutely nuts, right, that have made entire games, like Zoo Tycoon, right? The original Zoo Tycoon was written entirely in assembly code,
Jeez.
which is fucking nuts. Like, that's like, I want to buy a house, or
Yes.
I want to build a house, so I'm going to get all the lime from seashells. I have a tankard of water, I got some sand imported from Saudi Arabia, and I've also pulled up some tutorials on how to how to cook my own bricks, and extract my own metals for the water pipes and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's what they did in
It's
like
crazy.
Polynesian, how they figured out like how they used to navigate like the seas without having any navigational like systems, like figuring out the stars and like the flow of tides and everything. Like they had to figure that out like all by themselves, like all over again. Like they did a big research on that, and it's fucking genius.
Well, that's kind of what it's
It's like
making your own
digging
program.
back this old ancient knowledge, like working back from it, like trying to reassemble it. Like you're learning it backwards a little
Exactly.
bit.
But yeah, man, a mainframe, easily put, is an old-fashioned corporate server that runs on usually Unix. And what is Unix? Unix is the predecessor to Linux, FreeBSD, Mac OS, Microsoft disk operated system. Yeah, no, that's basically it. I mean, even Windows uses Unix at its very core, I think.
Still?
Well, still, I mean, it's just, I think Unix is just like, well, it's the kernel. Like, you have the kernel, which is basically the core of an OS. Which is like the most important, like metadata, like what systems
Finally.
work with what, how do we read this? How is the computer supposed to read that? How is it like what order of things, like how do we index the disks, how do we index the folders, all that stuff.
It's like telling, like it's basically just the building blocks of
Yeah,
how
it's
to
the
do
very
something.
foundation, the very core, literally,
Yeah.
of an operating
The
system. And that
main
usually falls
frame
back
of
on
a
Unix, because
yeah.
why would you use something new, which means that your programmers will have to relearn their entire job, when there's really not that much benefit to be gained. I mean, Unix, it isn't broken.
No?
It works. I mean, even though wheels have been invented a long time ago, we still use them.
Yep. That just works. Like that's the thing with like old cars. Old
Uh,
cars don't break. They just work. They
I
just
mean,
keep
that reminds
going.
me of that Top Gear episode where they tried to destroy that Toyota.
Can't destroy a Toyota. That's
Like, it
impossible.
was like a Toyota pickup truck or something, and they threw it, like they destroyed a building that it was standing on. They threw it in the sea. They lit it on fire. They dropped it from a height. Like, they tried a lot of stuff with it. They dropped a caravan on top of it. It just kept going. They drove it through a shed. It just kept going.
Oh man, those old cars. They just don't care what you do with them.
Like,
Like
I'm pretty sure they had it functioning and as like a little monument in their studio at Top Gear until like the end of the series. I mean, the series is technically still going. I remember when I was on the airplane back to the Netherlands from Japan, and I was watching one of those new Top Gear ones. This, the ones where what was his name again? The guy that played, oh yeah, Joe
Joey.
Tribbiani.
Yeah, Joey Tribbiani.
And
Yeah.
Harrison.
Harrison something. Harrison Ford. No,
No,
no, no.
and another Formula One fella. So they had like an actor, a rally driver, and a race driver, and a Formula One driver, I guess. But it was pretty funny because it was an alright episode. Like, but
Big
the
sad.
problem was you can tell that the dynamic was so much different.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the thing was, the problem isn't that it was different. You could just more obviously tell that it was fake.
You know what I? You know what?
And even with Top Gear, sure, a lot of it is scripted and a lot of it isn't. But the parts that were like at least the interactions and dynamics felt very natural.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a bunch of friends who've already known each other for years.
They're not even friends.
Yeah, but like guys
They don't
who've known
even-
each other for.
I figure because they don't even laugh.
I just saw that. I was like, oh no.
Like, they don't even like one another. But yeah, no, they did. Like, they just work really well.
Adds to the charm, I guess.
But I do remember watching that episode. I figured, like, if they gave it more time, I could definitely see how this could evolve into something good, actually.
Where did Tall Boy
But
go?
I'm pretty sure that Tribbiani had like some stuff to do, like some
shows.
and
Some
stuff.
actual money to make.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the other guys weren't also too terribly interested.
Fuck, what was his actual
Top
name?
Gear.
I
But
forgot.
do you remember the first season after they left, when they actually hired that, who was it, that radio fella? I forgot his name, but he was Like not to be like, not to throw sass at the guy, but he wasn't a good fit for the show at all. Like like Top Gear isn't a spunky, you know,
Young hip show. It's a bunch of fucking boomers talking about boomer shit.
Well, I mean, it just felt, you know, the guy has this certain energy which fits really well, like with like a nice, cozy, and fun afternoon show on the radio where you're talking about some good things that happen, maybe some new albums that have come out, like that kind of stuff. But it's not really the kind of.
You want a little more grumpy, banty guy.
That too, like that was one thing that Top Gear was very much known for, but also just like Top Gear is not. I don't know. It's not a hip and trendy woke show. It's just a show about destroying the world with cars. It's all it's ever been about. Like, oh man, let's pollute the earth, dude.
Let's go pollute.
Let's go.
I don't give a hoot.
We're here in Myanmar with these big diesel engine trucks, and we're just gonna trek through nature, leave behind stuff that falls off our truck. We don't give a fuck.
I gotta keep pushing.
But yeah,
here.
that's why, you know, I'm glad that the Grand Tour worked out well. Like I know that there's you know, a lot of people have a lot of complaints with it, but I really enjoy it. I think that it's nice. It feels more like they're just having fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. But that's the thing. Like they've been doing this for so long.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like, I mean, I remember the last episode they did where they still held on to the old format of like being in the studio or the tent, and at that point, you know, interactions with the audience and stuff. Like the last time we were gonna do that, because now they only do specials, right?
Yeah.
And they don't have like a weekly release schedule for their seasons. They just, you know, release them as they go along, right? As they finish them. So it's kind of become, in a way, that kind of makes it feel more like a YouTube channel.
It does kind of.
Like they upload whenever they feel like it. They make the content that they want to make. And you know, they don't I
have noticed that with a lot of shows these days, like that
a
are good.
Vlog channel.
Yeah, but like with a lot of shows these days that are kind of good, like with just people talking about stuff, they do really feel like YouTube content for some reason.
Well, I think
I feel like they've opened up to that.
Successful is simply because it feels a lot more genuine. Like it feels a ton more genuine to have to listen to three dudes on a podcast. Just talking random shit that nobody really cares about. You know, then for example, some dude very overtly happy and positive talking about this new car that just came out.
Who doesn't really care about?
That's the thing with television. I feel like I'm constantly being sold stuff. I'm constantly talking to a salesman. There's nothing more tiring to me than talking to salespeople. They're a pain in the ass because they won't take the hint. You know, sometimes I even flat out tell salesmen if I'm talking to one, like, hey man, I already know what I want to buy, and I'm genuinely not interested in buying anything else. I know that you're doing your shtick, but no.
Your pitch.
And oftentimes they'll just be like, oh, nice, you know, it saves me some effort as well. But sometimes they won't take that fucking hint. And that's how I feel with television. It's like a salesman that doesn't take the hint and still decide that you want more to spend more money.
Yeah.
You know, who's still trying to manipulate you into buying all kinds of shit that you don't
I hate
need.
that shit because I look right through it and it's just like,
especially if I already told them like straight up, like very honestly, like, yo, I'm just here to buy this one particular mattress. I haven't even looked at anything else because I don't care.
Some of them take it like, oh yeah, this is a challenge. I'm gonna really sell this guy.
Exactly, and that's what I hate about that. And that's how I feel with television. It's constantly like, hey. And because, for example, okay, one problem I have with commercials is just how loud they're allowed to be, right?
Oh, yep.
Like, I'll have, like, let's say I'm watching Top Gear. Let's keep that example. I'm watching Top Gear, right? And I'm watching it on 10 volume, right? And they go into the commercials, but I have to lower it to 2 volume.
Yep.
Because the commercials are 8 volume levels above the actual show. Okay. But what if I just don't touch my volume for a while? Oh, for some reason my television will just gradually get louder and louder.
Yep.
Why is that even a thing?
Oh, finally a new checkpoint.
Like, why is that even a thing? What if I just let the television on and leave for the day? Will I come back with it blasting on maximum?
I feel so. Like
whenever I watch TV, and I avoid television like the plague because it's just so
I don't like it
low
either.
quality, low effort. Like, oh, bro, how can you say low effort? No, fuck you. Look at some of these fucking television series and tell me that, and then try to tell me that it's fucking high effort, right? Just because you got a big fancy studio doesn't mean that you're fucking entertaining me at all.
Oh no, definitely.
That's what I
Because-
like about YouTube. It's like, okay, so either like this, like the video is going to be catered specifically towards a specific subject and nothing else. So if I'm not interested, I can just skip ahead, right? But with television, they try to keep the demographics nice and broad, and try to reach as much wide of an audience as possible, and like, oh mate, and it's like, no, fuck that. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just talking out of my asshole.
He's talking out of his asshole.
Maybe
He's going
I
at
don't
it again.
watch enough television.
No, but like the other day, I was watching a program on national or fucking, how do you call it?
Discovery?
Public. Also, I
public
got at a new
television.
checkpoint, so at least we're a little further. Yeah, they're gonna be at your right or behind you.
On my map, it says on my left.
Yeah, but that's because they're upstairs. But you can't go upstairs.
Oh.
Red doors can't go in, and there's a guy over there. But yeah, like I was watching. I love it. Thanks for the music. But like I was watching the public fucking thing the other day, and oh yeah, it was a philosophical show, and we had like 4 people on it and one main person, being the mediator. And it was just 4 people sitting on the table, very low effort, like you just said. But man, it was a good show because it was just like 4 people talking about problems and philosophical things and just enjoying themselves. And I feel like that's just not there anymore these days. Also, that square thing to your right that was glowing, like on the floor. Oh, well, not that one. That's a overshield that you could have gotten.
Oh.
So you'll be a little more survivable.
Uh-huh.
Yes. But yeah, they just do better these days with television, I feel like. Because especially since YouTube has become so popular, everybody is just like, why would I watch television? Because I have YouTube. And television is finally figuring out like, oh yeah, no, maybe you gotta step up our game. People want some more real content.
Well, here's the thing. On YouTube, if I want to see a dude smoke a doobie, play a video game, I can. On television, you can't even mention doobies, dude.
No.
You cannot, because it's all catered towards the Christian audience. Like, why would I want to watch Christian television when I can just watch anything I want on YouTube? Anything I want. Anything.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of genre, what kind of subject matter. I can fucking find it. Can I watch all the series that are on television on YouTube? No, I guess yours I'll pirate them.
cheeky, you're out of bullets. But yeah, like that's the thing, like real content and like no commercials. Like it's only fucking $11 to get YouTube Premium, and if you're not paying for cable, then that's totally worth the price. So why the fuck would you? You want to watch a movie? Oh yeah, just pay $2 to rent it for a couple of days. Who cares?
Exactly, it's so much better. Give me ammo.
Right bumper, you gotta swap. Yes.
Oh, I thought it was the same gun.
You're getting shot from behind pretty hard, dude. It's up there. Yeah, son of a bitch. Very annoying place. I know. I'm stuck on
Like,
here
let's
in
put an
Legendary.
enemy on a spot where you cannot hit him, but he can hit you, but you still have to somehow get past this map.
You just gotta wait it out for your
Like,
fucking...
I'm Bungie. I don't know.
I want my people
Video
to
games
have
have only
heart.
existed for 30 years when this game came out.
I'm trying to figure this shit
We still
out.
haven't had the time to figure out how video games work. I think we need another 30 years.
Please.
Because I'm a nerd and I don't know how to make
And
video
you know what the
games.
worst thing is? They only got worse. So, see you guys. Next, I don't know how long we go. Feels like 20
Not
minutes.
long enough because I'm pretty much
See
done
ya.
with this game right now.
Bye-bye.